Hi, Nick Compass here. One of the things I get asked by students sometimes is, does my backswing matter? And it's because they've maybe seen a video or they've heard from another instructor, hey, all that matters is what happens at impact. You just got to get back to impact. Well, what most players do on that backswing is going to have a huge effect on their downswing and what happens at impact. There's a few players like a Brooks Koepka who kind of have a little bit different stuff going on at the top, or even a Freddie Couples, where they're able to kind of make a couple maneuvers and get back to where they want to be at impact. But for most golfers, what you do in that backswing is going to have a huge effect on what happens on the downswing and at impact. So I've got a student here the other day. I want to show you the video and the recap lesson that we did and how his backswing made a huge effect on his downswing and his impact. So again, take a look here of what changes we made and how that affected that downswing by changing that backswing. So yes, that backswing does matter, and you're going to see how we made those changes. As I talked in the opening clip, the question that becomes is, does the backswing matter? A lot of times you'll see instructors or other videos where they've talked about, hey, all that matters is you get back to impact. But what you do in that backswing has a huge impact and can affect how you get down to the golf ball. And for most golfers, what happens in that backswing has a huge effect on the downswing and at impact. So unless you're a very skilled player that really compresses and hits the ball well, and you do some odd things in the backswing, hey, that's fine for you to not change it. But for most players, that backswing and what they do in there is going to have a huge effect on impact in the downswing. So I wanted to show you one of my students the other day that we had this issue where, hey, what he did in his backswing had a huge effect on his downswing. So on the left here, using the V1, is the old swing of the student of how we kind of started. And I'm going to put a couple lines on here. I'm going to put one up the shaft here. Let's actually do that again. We're going to go up the shaft, and then also what we're going to look at is how his body moved here, and that's what we're going to talk about on the backswing. So you'll see as he starts back, club goes a little bit outside there, but if you see that box around his hips, we're going to notice as he starts swinging back, look how there's zero turn here. Zero turning, you can see now, and this is what we're going to talk about here in a second, this backswing and kind of where these arms have ended up and how vertical this left arm is covering his face, and this club very vertical at the top. Now again, there's a few players like a Freddie Couples, a Brooks Koepka, that take this more vertical approach in the backswing, and then on the downswing, hey, they'll drop it a little bit inside. And again, for some players, that's something they've worked on or they've felt and they can do. What we're going to see from this player is when he got his arms very vertical, because there was zero turn, so just all that happened on his backswing was basically him just lifting his arms straight up. You can see now, in kind of the interesting part, if I put another line kind of on this club, he's going to come right down on that line. So is he over the top? Yeah, of course he's over the top compared to where and steep compared to where he originally started. But from where he was in his backswing, he basically came down on that same plane or that same line right there. But we can see here how this club is covering his face, very much over the top, coming across it, and he's going to swipe across it, and he hits slices. Go figure. Okay. So on the right here, we worked on a drill. We worked on the 4-step drill. We worked on putting a club across his shoulders so he could feel like his shoulders would turn 90 degrees, hips roughly 45 degrees, to get himself in a better backswing position. So we'll put these same lines up here, okay, and then we're going to put a box again around those hips. I'm going to take that swing that we had up on the left there up to the top, because that was our big change we were trying to feel. So we'll see when he starts the club back, okay, a little bit better on the line, but we can already see here halfway back, and I'll kind of bring the other swing up, halfway back here, look how much more this hip and his pelvis have turned and where this club head is in that backswing. So again, we'll take him up to the top. And again, you can see as he continues to turn, and I'll get him up at the top here, how different we look at the top right here. So again, with this swing, with him getting that turn, and look how there's like a little bit of gap between his knees. You can see this little gap here between his knees because his pelvis is turned. He's gotten some shoulder rotation, some shoulder turning here. Now this left arm is in a much different position, 37 degrees versus 73 degrees. So again, how vertical that is. So now those arms are in a much better position in the backswing. So now let's see, again, we didn't talk about anything in the downswing. All we talked about was, hey, where we were trying to get to the top, and I kind of showed him where I wanted him to be at the top of his swing. So now let's look at this downswing, and again, from where that club is, okay, you can see he works it a little bit over, but look at where he comes down now versus that old one when he had that more vertical arm, vertical shaft in his top of his backswing. So again, totally different motion. You can see even if you look at his legs, look how much more his legs have and pelvis has rotated because it didn't turn back at all. So again, he's moving the same, but he just didn't have any backswing there. So again, we'll get to impact for both of them. Look how he's pretty much right on plane right there. Let's back a couple of these boxes out. And we can see over on the right, again, how much he's kind of swiping across right there. So again, we're all trying to get better at impact, and we want to come into the ball the correct way. Our backswing can have a huge effect on that. Again, there's guys that take it vertical and drop it on under. I'll try to put a video of Brooks Koepka on the side right now so you can kind of see that, of somebody who gets their left arm and club shaft more vertical, but then he does a lot with his wrist action and the club shaft to get it back on plane. So again, unless you're an experienced golfer that is shooting even par or so, hey, your backswing is probably hurting your downswing and what you want to do at impact. So again, make sure you're getting the club in a good position at the top so it makes it easier for you to come down. Don't make yourself have to do 2 or 3 extra steps if you don't have to. Again, in this swing here with this guy, we didn't do anything. I didn't talk to him anything about his downswing. All he did was I got him into this better backswing position, and from there, he was able to swing down and get better on plane and get less swipey shots in there. So again, make sure you make that backswing is getting into a good position so we've got an easier chance to come back in impact and working into that downswing.